Hey, Facebook family, how are you? So glad to see you on this magnificent, mind-blowing Monday. I want to just kind of recap to you what we have been dealing with and what God did on Sensational Saturday and Sunday here at Sharon. We're doing this study on faith, what it is, what it's not. And we've come to the point in our faith series that has to do with our finances. Amazingly, how that oftentimes in the Christian community, we do not connect the dots with faith when it comes to finances. We have faith when it comes to healing. Faith comes to deliverance. Faith for God to get us out of stuff. Faith for God to straighten out stuff. Faith, believe God to handle people, our enemies, and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to our finances, we sometimes live as though and act as though that God has nothing to say about it. But he does. He has a lot to say about it. One of the things that I discovered, did a little research and found out that when it comes to this issue of robbery, it's a well-known crime throughout our nation and even in other countries, but it is constantly escalating and becoming more of incidents, people becoming more victimized by different kinds of robbery. Shoplifting is shoplifting robbery. You go into a convenience store, you go into a mall, and you take that which does not belong to you. Home invasion, people breaking into people's homes while they're there and forcing them by fear to give to them what does not belong to them. Different kinds of robbery that takes place in our society. And sometimes it's personal, where they have you and they take from you what you have that belongs to you, but they feel as though they have a right to have what they did not earn, and they take it from you without your consent. That's called robbery. We do that to one another. It's interesting that sometimes the people of God does that to God. Malachi asked the question, he said, will a man rob God? And that's just bizarre to me, to think that we would even think that we could do that. And sometimes we don't even know that, okay, we rob God, and like the Israelites then, we, the church now, has asked the same question. Well, how have we robbed you? How have we taken from you which does not belong to us, but it belongs to you? He said quite clearly, in tithes and offering. He states to us what our crime was. That was the crime. It was robbery. Then he comes back and he says, here's the consequences for the crime that you have committed. I'm going to curse you with a curse. That word in the Hebrew means to place upon you that which is harmful and that which can hinder your progress. He places on us, that's our sentence for the crime, which is the sin, but then he doesn't hang us in the balance. He says, I can expunge your record, I can give you literally a correction and a cure for your crime that you've committed. And he said this is how you correct it. Real brief, real short. Bring me what you stole from me. Bring me the tithe. Bring me that which you took from me. And I will do something for you. I'll expunge your record. I'll bless your life. I'll open up the windows, that which has been retained or contained from getting out of the windows, now God will release it from the windows so that it can get to that which prospers us, that which causes us to grow, that which gives us mobility. God said, I will open up the windows. Previously, I kept them concealed and shut and locked. But I will open them up, and I will reverse the curse, in that I'll expunge your record, in that I'll bless your life, in that I'll hold back the devourer that previously used to eat up stuff in your life. I'll stop them from doing that, and the stuff that you have will have long sustainability when it comes to your life. With a deal like that, I say to every Christian, and I know some of you may be arguing Oh yes, that's Old Testament. That's this, and we're not under the law no more. We can give whatever we want to give. Well, if you are that bent on being that correct about that, well then I think if we grace give, grace is always more than what the law demanded. So if you are a grace giver because of the grace that he's given unto you, I think that's more than 10%. I really do. Of whatever it is that you say, that as long as you don't give a tithe. I think tithe is the principle. And I think that's the starting ground on giving. Nothing less than. I think that's the beginning of a Christian and the way a Christian ought to give. I'm not here to debate with you. I don't have that much time to do that. But I do say this, and I will say this. That was before the law. Abraham gave a tithe to Melchizedek. Jacob made a covenant with God to give a tithe for what God had given to him. So the principle goes throughout Old Testament and New Testament. Paul never had to talk about it because they was already doing it. So I say to you, my brothers, my sisters, let us not as Christians be guilty and convicted of robbing God. And if you rob and take from him what does not belong to you, he's going to pronounce a sentence on you for the crime that you've committed. And you can get it fixed, expunged, if you do what he tells you to do. He even says to the people then, and he says to us now, try me. Put me, quote unquote, through the test. See what my reaction will be when you do what I tell you to do. As that great gospel hymnologist Jay-Z would say, he's not a gospel singer, he's not a hymnologist. But I just want to take one of the segment of a song and sanctify it. He says, I got 99 problems, and I would like to say, tithing ain't one. God bless you. Have a good day. Pray that the word of God affects your life, changes your life, impacts your life. Bless you. Peace.